Peter, where are you? Peter, yeah. Having the Micropythons in person is something I would like to do as well. I don't know how everyone else feels about it. I have a bit of trouble here because my partner's a bit immunocompromised. I've got to be a bit careful there. So I need to think carefully as to whether I can be in person. But if enough people would prefer this to be in person, then I could potentially do it from Zoom, even if I don't go in. So, yeah, we should probably have a chat about whether we want to do this in person or continue on Zoom for a bit longer. I don't know if people have strong opinions. Well, I know some people have strong opinions. So.
Well, personally, it was I got the most value out of actually meeting you guys in person, and it gave me certainly gave me the leg up that I needed to get productive using Micropython, and of course, totally engaged to the point where actually contributed to the code. That would not have happened if it was just Zoom meetings. And quite frankly, with 2 years of Zoom meetings, not just Micropython, but for work, it's a really good social outlet. And that's that aspect that I actually personally want, and I know I'm not alone. Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, fair point.
And I've got to say, Matt, when I agree to attending, a couple of weeks beforehand, and then the day before it changes to online, it's a bit of a downer.
Yeah, sure.
Because I also make plans. Some of you know that I catch up with some of the guys beforehand at the pub for dinner. It's an open invitation. It's not exclusive, and it's a really good social time for us blokes.
Yep. No, understood. Well, whichever way it falls, I've also got a note here saying I've just got to update all that stuff earlier. Yeah.
Yep.
I know, Damien, it's going to be more difficult for you to attend, but I guess you'd do it remotely.
Yeah, I can come in if we can plan it.
Yep.
I can try and come in.
Andy, I'm assuming you probably won't make it in person. But,
we might surprise us.
Field trip to go and see Andy.
Yeah,
I'd love to come over, folks. So maybe at some point in the future, but not right now. I'm doing EuroPython in Dublin next month, so I'll do a quick half-hour intro to Micropython talk.
Well, I was going to announce that too, actually. But
hopefully, professionally, I'll get back into doing some travel. We'll see how that turns out. And if I come your way, then I'll be sure to look you all up.
Yeah, for sure. That talk's on the 11th, something like that.
16th or 16th of July, I think, something like that. I'll probably hit you up for a chat beforehand, Matt, just so I don't say anything stupid.
No, sure. Back to the in-person stuff, though. I think I'm getting closer to the point where I can make it into the Hawthorne place. So, Barry, where are you again?
Vermont South.
Yeah, right. So,
it's easy to get to Hawthorne.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, I don't want to make it my decision. It should be like what people want to do.
I mean, it sounds like the majority. Well, it sounds like people do want to meet in person. I agree. It does. There's a different level of being in person, having small conversations instead of just one massive conversation with everyone, and meeting, just socializing aspect. I think it's really good. I mean, yeah. Don't think I've met anyone from here in a while, in person. So I'd be keen to join something in person at some point.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah, maybe we can try and accommodate both things by having in person and also Zoom. We did try that at some point.
I was going to say, if we do go down that path of going in person and trying to maintain the Zoom, I think Ollie and I just need more help. Like it's pretty stressful and it's pretty hard to organize. Just with
Yeah.
Just need to streamline the streaming setup again. But one of the issues is that we can stream it and we can show the content to online viewers. That's not a concern. But the unfortunate nature of it is that online attendees will always be second-class citizens when we do it in first person, because we don't have the capability to easily, cross-communicate in person and with chat online. So it makes discussions like this harder to happen. But it is ultimately something that was designed to be in person and works well. It's a very different experience that way.
Sian, have you got any tips or suggestions there? Because I mean, you do this quite a lot.
Not really. I mean, it's I'm either streaming or I don't know. Very hard to do capturing live and online participation. Yeah, I don't know. There's no real hardware for it, and someone's going to have to sit there monitoring the chat while everyone's doing it.
We could put the Zoom up on the big screen, and then everyone can in person can see the people on the Zoom, and then can see the messages pop up instead of being on someone's laptop.
Sure. Can you split the picture on the two screens?
Again, if we throw enough hardware and effort at this, it can become quite a nice experience. But
I don't know how big your
I'm
space
really
is.
stretch everything.
Sometimes don't know how big your space is in this location, but sometimes the audio from the room where you've got a group of people talking to one another may not be so well.
Yeah, it's a tiny space, but it doesn't work well with sound.
Okay. Because I think also one of the benefits of having this online, or having had these online and recorded, is you can reach a wider community ultimately. Because not everybody's going to show up to these meetings at this time in their time zone, but they can catch up on any conversation if they want to. So
the other issue is that I'm terrible at getting the recordings up. It's so much effort, and
for sure.
Yeah.
But at least when you are able to, it does increase the reach a little bit. So
yeah.
I've seen Anna and from Adafruit always wanting your slides because it gives them a load more for their newsletter. So
yeah. Thanks, Javier. I think that's what Javier's just commented that having the streaming is beneficial for him. He probably wouldn't make it in. Which I think we would always support that anyway, even if it was just like at a minimum, like having a one-way stream. That's not difficult to do. It's responding to the people that are watching online and integrating them, which is the way it should happen.
I mean, maybe we could do the actual presentations like via Zoom, but in person. We all wear headphones and get on a Zoom together for the presentation, because then it's a global audience thing, like as in we don't need to have such private side chats while we're doing the presentation. And then outside the presentation, we just chat normally in person, and we can have the Zoom up on the big screen or something.
Even if we have the Zoom chat open on the screens instead of just on the laptop that one person's looking at, because we have the screens that people look at for the slides. If that was just the Zoom window with the screen sharing and all people's pictures, that would integrate them.
Well, Zoom does give you multi-screen.
I don't know, Damien, how their internet will handle suddenly 15 people on a Zoom call through their pipe.
I'm impressed with how well it handles streaming, to be honest, and it doesn't even handle that great.
Yeah, good point. But well, we could be on one Zoom, like a conference, when you're in a meeting room and you have just one Zoom with everybody there and the speaker.
Yeah, we can manage that as the
or two
stream
Zooms,
setup.
one for the speaker and one for everyone else.
Yeah, the issue is the camera that is the view that everyone who's online is looking through. Like when a talk's given and they're using the TV behind them, right, and it's up on an angle and it's small and you can't really see it. It's very hard to see the presentation, and then whenever's talking, when they turn sideways to answer something, the sound goes to 50%, or you can't hear the questions, and then people forget to re-ask the question or to restate the question again. So there's like a half a conversation going on and you can't kind of understand what it is.
So a lot of that stuff can be resolved, right? Like we've been trying to use like the picture-in-picture or the stream setup to like cut between the slides and the camera to try and improve that. And yes, certainly the culture around repeating the question when it's asked because only the wearer has the microphone, that's a culture thing that can be improved, and just knowledge about how to do it. The microphone turning away and not hearing it, that is definitely just the multitude of audio issues we've had by people that have no idea how to set up streaming, trying to set up streaming. That's me. So it's definitely just lessons learned. And the biggest thing is, you know, saying that we're going to start at a time and actually starting.
Well, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
At the very least is that someone can be in the chat saying what's happening instead of just radio silence for half an hour and people like, is anything happening?
You finally find the chat window and there's like 30 messages saying, what's going on? Yeah.
Or it froze 20 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
No one's bothered to check to see if the stream's still going, and we're all just looking at blank screen or frozen screen. Yeah.
Yes, there has historically been issues, but it is stuff that can be improved. If the thing stopping that is it hasn't been done well in the past, the solution should be do it better in the future.
Yeah, and we've got the hardware. I mean, at least we've got some of the hardware now at the hackerspace, which will help. But we need to get buy-in from Lachlan and whoever else to make sure it's definitely available and ready to go.
Easy to use and fast to use.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing with in-person ones is the in-person meetup. I want to be, you know, catching up with people and, you know, having an in-person meetup, not spend an hour set up a stream.
Yeah, but I think the reality is it does take some time.
I guess the other thing is
Maybe
I get better at that, it won't take as long.
Yeah.
But if I've got to spend half an hour unraveling cables, then it
Well,
will.
I mean, there's a Raspberry Pi.
I've been doing it for years, and it still takes me 40 minutes to set up for a stream every week. So it doesn't get any quicker, unfortunately. And there's always technical problems, always. So need a good microphone. Like that's another problem. Like a good microphone and then a good camera.
Yeah.
Camera's the big one. Turns out a Raspberry Pi just streaming as a webcam is not great. But it's better when you've got the configuration so you don't have to jiggle the mouse every 5 minutes. But unfortunately, we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, we don't have access to the hardware very readily, so it's a bit of a pain.
Well, for reference, I've just been playing the last couple of days with software-based camera with old phone. And if I switch to my other camera.
I'm glad you added with phone then, because the software-based camera was pretty impressive.
No, but so what was I going to say? Come on, focus.
You've got blur on, have you?
I do.
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah,
not a face.
yeah, no. Long story short, yes, just an old Android phone. Well, which I guess it's probably a 3 or 4 year old phone now. Either way, that on a little stand and this USB IV cam software is surprisingly good, and it's smooth and fast, and the camera is not getting hot, and it's a much better picture than any of the other webcams I've had.
Volunteering to bring that with every meetup.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be hard to remember to bring, in theory.
Yeah, it's just tricky, and we've also got to rely on like Lachlan as well. And like, there's one time where we were expecting to have the stuff available, and he just got stuck at work.
Yeah.
That's a difficult thing.
And then Andrew gets COVID for the 5th time and can't turn up that week, and then with no camera, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So less moving parts, the better. But
yeah.
These are all details. So yeah.
We'll see everyone next
See you,
time.
Damien.
See you, Damien. Thanks for that.
See you, Damien.
Thanks a lot, Matt.
Gotcha.
Hi, Andy.
And you can't rely on Matt to bring everything because he'll just leave it on the train and then he'll do it all.
Jeez, I'm still here, man.
Never let that one down.
No,
Yeah.
never.
Shouldn't have told you. Yeah, okay.
Well, maybe
Right.
an alternative that'll make Peter happy, right? Is that maybe we just move it all to the pub.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Drop the
That'd make me happy.
Micropython component and then
No, keep the MicroPython. Just maybe
You keep the Micropython, but do it at the pub.
do it at the
Yeah.
pub. Drop the hardware, but we already did that. We've been doing it online for months.
The last time we were at the pub, I think that was on the cancelled meeting
yeah.
that they were setting up for poker.
Right.
We managed to get our dinner just before the poker started.
Nice.
Oh, you didn't try and get some, detection and machine learning happening in the poker game.
Might be a nerd, but not that nerdy.
Okay, folks, I'm going. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I think I'm gonna have to make tracks as well.
Good on.
I'll
Good to see you all. Have a great
See,
month next month. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll endeavour to try and get along in person next month, but we'll need to have a chat. Probably Oliver, I'm looking to you to help me with that. We'll try and talk before the day about details of it.
Crazy.
Yeah. I know.
I think we should probably set a deadline of when we make the call of what that would entail and if we're ready for that.
Yeah,
like,
I
a
need
week
to
in
have
advance.
I need to have a hard chat with Melissa and the doctor as well. I'm not sure it's all legitimately okay. There's still a fair bit of COVID out there, and she really shouldn't catch it. So I need to be careful. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, well, let's try and catch up by the 20th, which is a week before, so that we can
All right.
understand where
fair.
we're at. We've actually got
All right.
5 weeks until then as well, because it's
Wait,
the early one.
Yeah, because this one was quite quick. Okay, so Peter, we'll have a yes or no in person by the 20th. Hopefully that's good enough for you, and we'll try and return to the in-person stuff, and barring another massive outbreak.
yeah, thanks for putting it onto the agenda, Matt. I appreciate that.
No problem. It was a fair point. I'm sorry I didn't respond to it just because I wasn't sure how to at that stage. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right, folks.
Alrighty.
We'll bid you all good night. Thank you for listening and joining in, and I'll speak to you soon.